Hopefully they can hear me through this thing. I haven't had to. Yeah. Yeah. You want to? I can help you. Yep. Split the. And I don't. We don't know. We put all these out. We weren't sure how many were going to come today. So yeah. Renee, nice. And I'm terrible with names. I'm such a face person, but I'm going to work really hard to remember everybody's name eventually. I if I always know faces, and then I'm like, oh gosh, what was their name? Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm the one. I'm here. It's I've been really enjoying it a lot. I'm very thankful that my yogi person referred. She's the reason I got this. Is she had threw my name into the hat. So, well, me too. Thank you. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Bear with us this morning as we're just kind of setting things up, but making sure you can hear me through this mask. I'm going to try to talk extra loud. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and that's why that little thing's probably better eventually, the littler table, because then I can angle it. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm looking to see if they can. Yeah. They can see my chair. All right. Well, good morning, ladies. We'll get. Oh, no sound. What? No sound. No sound. On. Make sure this is. And I charged it last night, so everything is. How about now, Jane? There should be sound. Nothing's. Uh huh. Uh huh. See, there's always little kinks. Let me know if you can hear me now. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. 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 Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, ladies, we're going to get started here. Just bear with me here. Oh, now it's loud. Sorry. No sound too. It's really loud. Sorry. At least you can hear me. All right, so friends, you're kind of far away from me this time until we can work a better setup for the laptop. So bear with me if it takes me a minute to see your comments. All right, wonderful, Jane. Make sure you guys grab your waters. All right, well, it might just be us, right? Just the four of us. Do they like to leave this door open? I kind of like things. Uh-oh, do you need to go grab some? That's right. Well, if you need to take a break to go get water, I understand that for sure. You guys saw me move around and around and around with my. All right, we're going to start on the side of our chair this morning. I don't know why I have my camera with me and it's open. All right, so we're going to start next to our chair, just sitting nice and tall, rolling those shoulders down and back. And then we're just going to start lifting our knees and knowing that if this is a better place for you, just having that chair there, this is so much better because I can see you. When you're at home, I just get a bubble of your face. So I'm not sure what your level of comfort or agility is. So this is so nice. And then I can know where I can take us. That might be scary for you, but it's fun. You are. She said she used to teach gym and stuff. I said, well, I did not know you were 80. My goodness. So start pulling, just lifting the core here. Nice big breaths in and out. 4. This is hot in here. I've never had to teach with this. 3, 2, and 1. Well, at home or even at our studio, once we're in our designated places, we can take them off as long as you're away from each other. So, all right. So now we're going to start to, and you can keep your chair close if you want, just coming into these little heel lifts. Thank you. Lifting up those heels. If you want, you can slowly kind of rock back on your heels. That's just kind of warming up the whole foot here. Beautiful. Nice work. A couple more here, then we'll move on. 3 and 2. I feel like I'm so far away from them. And 1. Let's start to take our arms in nice circles here. Waking up this morning. Nice big inhales around. Exhale as those arms come down. My mask is going to fall every time I talk, I feel like. And when you feel complete, you can start to switch opposite direction. Make sure I'm not missing any comments because I can't see them. All the way over here. Okay, wonderful. We got 7 people online this morning. Welcome, welcome. Beautiful. And release. Let's take a nice big inhale up. Maybe interlace those fingers, knowing that if this hurts for your shoulders, you can bring them lower range of motion. Just start to kind of round the spine, working out any kinks this morning, especially if this is your first movement. Maybe you come forward, let the arms hang, and then gently roll up your spine. Let's do that again. Nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale, coming into that gentle spinal stretch, rounding the back, working out wherever feels good for you this morning. And then slowly release. Let's take our neck into some rolls here. Being very mindful that we're not hearing any popping. We're going slow enough to not have that happen. Beautiful. Keep with that breath work. Coming over to the left side when you're there, holding for a brief moment. Maybe this is deep enough. Maybe you want to gently place hand on top of your head. Just feeling that extra little stretch. Might feel real nice this morning. And exhale, release, coming back to that neutral spine. We're going to switch directions with those circles. Nice work, inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. One more time around, and when you get to that right side, right ear to right shoulder, keeping that spine nice and long. Again, taking that variation that feels good for you. And release. Nice work. We're going to take our right arm across our body. Nice little gentle stretch, keeping that shoulder out of your ear as much as possible. Nice. And I move a lot. So you don't see this probably at home because I was trying to be super professional. But when I'm in a live class, I do this. I like walk around a lot, swing my hips. I just got to be moving all the time. It's probably why I teach fitness. And exhale. You can either come right here or right here. You can guide it here. You can come here. Sometimes I think this is a better, if that hurts. It's like patting yourself on the back. And then just same side, yep. And just lifting that arm up, however feels good for you this morning. And release, shake it out if you need to. And we'll take left arm across our body. And my mask is literally going to fall every time. I can feel it. How about the mask mandates, I think, are close to being, so my husband said. They say it's getting close, is what he said. The mask mandate, they're thinking about lifting here shortly. Yep. Which I think it is smart to wait till the kids leave. I do. Taking it up and over. I do think it's. Yeah. Yes. I hope so. It's a nice sign seeing getting those alerts from your Dillon's pharmacy, like, hey, come in, and I'm like, oh, that's a good sign. And release. Start to do some little shoulder rolls here. Nice big breaths. Beautiful, Gretchen. Nice big breaths. Opening up that heart space, getting ready for this movement this morning. Nice work. Maybe holding it back, maybe coming into this, maybe interlacing the fingers, just opening up the shoulders. If that doesn't feel good, you can literally just kind of come down your back. We do this in the chair. Sometimes we sit and I have you just grab the back of your chair, just opening up those shoulders a little deeper. And exhale, release. Nice work. We're going to start this morning standing if you choose, but I always give you options, lots of options. But you can do this in a chair. So we're going to come into our squats this morning. So option, do them in the chair. Option, do them behind your chair. Option, next to your chair. Whatever you would like. So I like to teach squats a little differently than how we learned when we were growing up. How we grew up, our feet were, I still want your feet parallel, but our toes were always like this, right? And we did this. You got to listen to your hip mobility. So my hips are really tight. So I always take my toes just slightly out so I can get into that squat. So it's more thinking about sitting those hips back into the chair, keeping the chest lifted, tummy pulled back. And then as you exhale, you push through those heels, lift that spine nice and long. Nice work. Taking this at any tempo that you need. My motto is it's not about how many we do. It's about that quality of work for you. This is your workout. Nice work. Keep breathing. Nice. Make sure you can see those toes when you go down into that squat. Keeping those knees over those ankles. We don't want any knee pain. Let's do 4 more, no matter where you are. Breathing. I just realized you really can't see me smiling. I'm like, I'm smiling and you can't see me. Last one. And release. Take a water break if you need it, as always. We're going to go into our weights here. All right. Always know you can sit when we do these things, if you're wanting a little bit more movement today. So we're going to go into, I was going to do wall push-ups, and I thought, well, that doesn't really work in here. Yeah, I was like, I don't know where you would. Oh, yeah. And this, to me, is not as, especially the floor, but doing push-ups here does not, yeah, they'll slide. So I don't want anyone, no. So we're just going to do we're going to do the same thing if we were on the wall. We're going to do some chest works, chest presses. So pulling those weights in and pushing them out, pulling them in. Really think about bringing those shoulder blades together and really think about not arching when you come back. So my legs are nice and strong. I got a slight bend and I'm inhaling, exhaling that exertion. Beautiful. Knowing my ladies at home, you can do this in your chair. You don't have to stand. This is a little extra if we want to stand. Really think about pushing and pulling. There's that pretend resistance both directions. Nice job. Keep that core nice and engaged. Let's do 5 more wherever you are. Pull those tummies. And 3, 2, and 1. Release. Maybe your shoulders start to feel that when we do those presses. Beautiful. So shake it out. I always say do noodle arms if you need to, whatever feels good. So we're going to move on. Again, option, I'm going to show my girls at home. You're going to stand. You're just going to hinge a little bit at your hips so we can come into these rows. So really lifting. Same thing. We're working that upper mid back, but we're also working our core. So if you're standing, hinging at the hip, those sit bones go back behind you, chest stays lifted, you look right in front of you. Lift, and I call them the little chicken wing, as we lift our little chicken wings up here. Nice. Squeezing at the top. Nice breath work. Nice work. Keep going. Beautiful work. We got this. Squeezing, pulling those tummies back. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. We're going to take a mini little active recovery here. So what I say in this active recovery, of course you want to stretch, you want to grab a drink of water, but keep your body kind of moving. But we want to take our break. Okay, oh, we lost some people. I know. So that happens at home. I'll start and then it'll trickle. And you never know if it's like their connection or what, you just never know. I know, that's why I was online with you guys. I'm like, I swear, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make it work. Beautiful. So we're going to do that all again. We're going to do another set of that, and then we'll move on to some balance stuff this morning. So I like to call it our little circuit. So we've done a little 3 exercise, and we'll come back to it. So when you're ready, finding your setup, and I'm going to show my girls at home, just so they remember. So you can always use your chair. Same thing. Nice parallel legs, sitting nice and tall. Sitting in the chair and coming up, or you're next to your chair, whatever you choose. All right, here we go. Let's do this all together. Nice big inhale, down, exhale, push, release. Nice work. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Really push through those heels and engage those glutes, which means squeeze those tushies as we come up. Working whole body here. Nice job. Beautiful work. Make sure you can see those toes. Nice. Keep lifting that core back. Let's do 5 and 4. Beautiful. 3, 2, and 1. Now I know later I'm going to bring in some bar elements because I know that you can do it. I can see now. I can see and I love it. We're going to do some pulses. We're going to stay low for a little bit longer. We're going to have some fun in here. So we're going to go into our next circuit part of this, which is our shoulders and our chest. So getting nice, good stance off, bending those knees. Keeping nice and tall. Push those weights forward. Squeeze, pulling back those shoulder blades. Pretending that there's a string back there, pulling them together. Nice work. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have been vaccinated. I think we talked about that online. I have been vaccinated. We were very lucky, my husband and I. We've been vaccinated for like 2 months now. So that was very lucky. You get the call and you just go. Yeah. Well, it was controversial. My husband is on the board at Meadowlark. That's the only reason. And it wasn't because he's on the board. It was because they got extra and they didn't think they were going to get as many as they got. And we got Pfizer. So, if you don't use it, it's trash. I mean, you have to throw it away. And so the board was like, we have extra if you can get here in 15 minutes. So 3 more. It was just kind of like, we had friends that were really mad, like if they have really bad conditions. I said, yeah, but I think it's our duty as a member of society. We say yes. So release. You don't be, I was like, that would have been terrible we were offered and say no. I mean, so I said, but I'm not dismissing that we were really lucky. I understand that. We are not a high risk. I understand that for sure. All right. Coming into our row, so whether you're seated or you're standing, we're going to hinge again at those hips. Sit bones get back behind you. Gaze is right in front of you. Lift those tummies back. Squeeze it in and release. In and release. Nice work. Keep lifting and squeezing. Taking this at your pace. As always, this is your workout. I'm just here to give you some extra motivation. But if any time a move doesn't feel good or you're feeling lightheaded, always just take a break. Come back into it when you're feeling ready. Squeezing. Let's do 5. Nice work. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Shake it out when you've got that 1. Grab your drink. Take that active recovery before we go on. Nice work, ladies. It's so weird since I've been at home with all of you to do both. I do it at school at Orange Sky. I have to, Monday nights, which is tonight, I teach bar and spin back to back, and we video. And so I'm like, if you're at home and you don't have this, and we do it all. All right. We're going to come into some balance this morning. Then we'll do some abs, and then we'll be ready for our cool down. So I'd like you to have your chair close to you. Now you can try this. Some of you, I feel like, can do this without your chair. Now that I can see you, the gig is up, I can see. So you're going to put a nice bend in this standing leg. This weight is going to come right here. Point your toe, your right foot, and you're going to come into a bicep with a leg lift. Now, option is just to keep your toe right here. You don't have to do this. But if you're coming all the way up, keep that chest nice and lifted in that core. I always say, touch your core. Make sure you're pulling that core back. And again, it's not about how high your leg gets. Think about more length. And I'm really squeezing this inside glute and leg. And of course, you're working this hip flexor and this leg a lot too. Nice. Inhale, exhale out. Thank you. Inhale and exhale. Nice job. 5, you got this. 4, ladies at home, knowing you can use this chair and you can sit and do this as well, just a leg extension. 2, and 1. Release. I always say my feet start to talk to me a little bit. Yeah, they do. Even at my age, they talk. I'm like, oh, just standing on that position. Yeah, your standing leg and your standing hip will talk to you to totally normal. It's trying to stabilize you, so it's not going to hurt you, but it's working those hips and keeping you nice and strong. So we're going to add on here. Get ready. So again, same leg. I know. So take breaks when you need it. Same leg. So left leg, nice bend. This right leg is going to go out lateral with. So if you need your chair, really squeeze your core and think about, you don't have to get super big. You're still working even if you're at a lower range. If you have shoulder issues, taking it out here is totally working. You don't have to get all the way up here. So just squeezing and lifting. If you're sitting in my chairs, ladies, you're just going to use that arm. Just come into the arm, forget about the leg, and that's okay. 5, 4, nice work. 3, really squeeze. 2, and 1. Why do I like doing balance with weight? And it does. Okay, you look like my girls in class. We do this. Yep, we hit our glute because we're like, ooh. But why we do all of this balance incorporated with weight instead of just this, which this is totally fine, but I know you're strong enough to do it. So if you were to fall, God forbid, you're building that strength so you can catch yourself and hopefully not break a hip, right? But we're also working on that mobility of our hips, and we're building that strength in those joints as well. So if you were to fall, your recovery is going to be a lot easier than somebody who's not doing these mobility exercises. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going behind, friends. So you're going to get that same leg, left leg. You're going to put a soft bend in it. This arm's going to go into a tricep. So you are going to hinge just a tiny bit, lift that leg behind you. So you can hold your leg just behind you. If this is where you are, ladies at home, you can just hinge. Let me show them while you're doing those. We've done these before at home. You're just going to hinge and come into your triceps. You don't have to worry about the legs if that doesn't serve you. But this is great for our balance and strength as well. Try really hard to think about keeping those hips square though. So try not to let your leg go way out, even if it's smaller range of motion, but you're squeezing that glute, keeping that tricep nice and engaged. Nice work. Let's do 5, 4, beautiful. 3, 2, and 1. Release, shake out that foot. Sometimes this stretch is a good one. If your foot's talking to you, arch is starting to be ornery, that's a good one. Whew. We got the other side, but take a break. I want you to take a whole water break here. We don't want to hurt ourselves this morning. That's not the goal. So work out any of those kinks, even my ladies at home. Okay, I'm not missing any messages. Beautiful. And I used to be a really active runner all through school. Went to college on a track scholarship, too many years of running. So now I can't run because my feet are a hot mess because too many years of pounding. So I'm with you in the cramping. I'm always like, oh gosh. And then in yoga, they make us do tree. I'm like, oh my God, my leg is like, my foot is hurting so bad. But it's so good for us. It's just because tendonitis. I got all kinds of tendonitis. All right. We're going to move on to our other side. So we're going to take our right leg, nice, strong leg, soft bend, coming into that bicep on the other side. So option here just to hold it here or coming in and lifting. Option to sit in your chair and just come into that leg lift with that bicep. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Really squeezing actively on this leg you're lifting, pointing that toe as much as you can, as well as squeezing that inside glute. Nice work. Always knowing that you can have that chair there for support. We don't want anyone falling. 5, 4, nice work. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Shake it out. It's hot in here, isn't it? Is it usually this warm? I feel like it's warm in here. I know we have fans, but I'm like, whew. And probably because I'm used to my basement, huh? It's colder in a basement. I'm like, whew, it's warm in here. Yeah. All right, we're going to do the other side. Same leg. Right leg is nice and bent, taking that leg out to the side, lifting and lowering. Sometimes I have to push myself away from the chair here. Yep, it's easier with the chair, especially if you're not used to this movement. Nice work. Keep a nice bend in this standing leg. We don't want to hyperextend it. Beautiful. If you're in the chair, just worry about the arm. Lateral raises here. Nice job. 5. Good breath work. 4, 3. Inhaling when that weight comes up. 2, and 1. Shake those legs out before we got that last one. Nice work. Sometimes then some of this stuff you'll start to feel your hip flexor burn a little bit too. That's a tiny little muscle that we don't work very often. It's good to be worked though. So we're going to come back to our chair. So my right leg is into my chair, a little bend. I'm going to hinge just so I can get into that tricep. And I'm going to lift the leg behind me. Ladies at home, you can just sit in your chair if you choose. Just come into those triceps. Teeny little lift. Making sure you're squeezing on those glutes and hamstring. Lifting, beautiful. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, nice work. 2, and 1. Whew. Release. Beautiful work. Such good job. Grab a drink. We're just going to come into a little tiny bit of abs because this is what I always said. We started a little late, so we're running a little later over. But I want you to get your work. Yes. So these are options. And now that I see that you like to stand, we can do it standing too. But at home, I usually have us do some abs where I have you come here. Now you can do this. You can challenge yourself here this morning if you were here in class with me. So you could come into this. Or I call it a wide squat. So my toes are up, my heels are in. I'm going to sink my hips only deep enough where this doesn't happen. Don't let the booty stick out. So keep your hips, everything square. So then we can come into lowering and lifting. This is a little bit more challenging, but standing up tall is a good choice too. And of course, my ladies at home, if you want to just sit, but keep that spine nice and long. Beautiful. We're working our obliques here this morning. With a little weight. Weights are always optional. Nice work. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep with that breath work. Beautiful. Nice job. 4 and 3. 2. It sounded like it was in here. And 1. We heard a bird in here, friends. It sounded very close proximity. All right, so more for our abs here. We're going to take our arms behind us. And so we're going to come twisting. Now, option, I saw you doing this. You can come here if you want. That doesn't serve you. You feel like, oh no, Jamie, my balance does not feel like I can do that. Then, you could have your chair here, pause. So it's just options. But if you want to stick with basic, and my girls at home, you could do this seated, just coming. The weights add extra here. So inhaling, exhaling as you twist. Beautiful. Really think get it about as deep as you can, but keep that spine nice and long so we don't want to round our spine. Nice work. 3, 2, and last one on this side. Release. Nice work. All right. We are going to come in our chair for this one because I feel like we'll get a lot more bang for our buck with our abs. So I know we've done this before, but I'm going to give you an option today to keep your weights. So we've done this before where I tell you to come a little bit away from your chair, and at home, we've done this, right? Gretchen, you've seen, we've done this. So inhaling that core back. Today, if you want to use your weight, it's almost like if you've done yoga, we do boat pose with weights. That's what we're going into. So inhaling, exhale, pull those weights in. Inhale, feet are flat on the floor, keeping that chest open. Beautiful. Nice job. Inhaling back, exhale, pull. Nice job. Keep going, keep working at it. Knowing that you can always let go of the weights. The weights are just extra. You can do this without weights. But we want to work our whole body a little extra here. Nice job. Keep pulling that abdomen back. Beautiful modifications. Wait, always know your body. Listen to what your body's calling for. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work, ladies. The pulling. And you are working, what I love about adding the weights, and like I said, we've done this online, but what's great about adding the weights is now we're getting into our shoulders and our mid-back because we got to work to pull all that up. So you're kind of getting core, back, shoulders, arms. Just like, I'm a big fan of layering movements just because then we get more for the time that we're together. And even if you're doing this at home, you're going to get more out of your workout if you can figure out ways to, even the balance. I mean, we could just balance. If you can add a little weight, just adding on layers. So, such a good thing. Well, you have graduated to our cool down this morning. So, we're going to sit in our chair here this morning. Nice, tall spine sitting flat against your chair. Feet are flat on the floor. We're going to just start with our right leg. Take that leg out. Nice little extension. Bring it back in. Just cooling down our legs here. We worked them a lot today on that balancing. Going with your breath work here. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Nice job. On this next one, let's leave our foot lifted and just point and flex your foot here, working out any of those little kinks. Nice job. And when you're ready, you can roll that ankle a little bit in one direction. And when you feel complete, you can switch the direction. Nice job. And release. We'll take it to the other side. So left leg sitting nice and tall. Extend and release. Beautiful. Keep with that breath movement that feels good for you this morning. One more here. When you get to that point, keep that foot up and flex and point. Stretch out those feet. We were on them a lot this morning. Nice job. Start to roll out that ankle if that feels okay for you. And I'm looking at my shoes. I really need to wash them and switch the other direction. I'm like, ew, I need to wash these shoes. That's the bad thing about white, right? I love the color of them, but I'm like, they're going to get dirty really fast. And release. We're going to come sitting up just because we did a lot of ab stuff this morning, so I call it our seated cat-cow. Hands are on our legs here. We're just going to inhale, push that heart forward, chest is lifted. Exhale, push those hands forward, round the spine, chin to chest. And inhale. Come with your breath movement. Every breath movement might be different. It might not be the same cadence as mine. So finding that tempo that feels good for your movement this morning. job. And release. Start connecting back, feeling grounded this morning. Not thinking about what you have next, just trying to be here present for yourself. Exhale, release. And when you feel complete, coming center. Standing nice and tall. We are going to go back into those arm stretches just because we did them in the beginning to see how they feel different. So taking that right arm across. Maybe this time, though, you want to roll out your wrist if that feels okay for you. Nice job. Maybe switching those rolls. And inhaling. Bring that arm back up for that tricep because we worked that tricep a little bit. Taking whatever variation, but trying whatever you're doing to keep your neck long, so try not to dip it down. Even though it gets hard, we want to dip it. And exhale, release. We'll take that left arm across. Nice job. Connecting back to your breath, soaking in all the efforts of your practice. And exhale, release. Take that arm up. Inhale, up. Give yourself a pat on the back. Taking whatever feels good for you this morning. Nice work. And exhale, release. We're going to come into what I call swimmer arms, which is just kind of doing this over with both arms here. Yeah, I'm like, what do they call that? I wasn't a swimmer, but I call it swimmer arms. Just going with that breath, working out any kinks in the shoulders. Couple more here, and then we're going to switch directions. I think they call it a backstroke, right? So we'll take our arms back and back, keeping that spine as long as possible. Nice job. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work sitting nice and tall in our chair. I'm a big fan of, before we just move on with our day, we want to get ourselves grounded, right? So closing down the eyes, just listening to your heartbeat, to the cadence of your breath, really giving yourself gratitude for what you just accomplished, for being present for you. So important. We often just, move on to the day, things just get going. It's so important to take time and space for you and your body. So really lock that in. Try to carry it on with you today as you move forward. Big inhales through the nose, exhale out the mouth. Remembering that you are exactly where you're supposed to be in your wellness journey. Beautiful. When you're ready, remember we're going to do our cheesy little thing I like to do, but I am a words of affirmation girl. So we're going to scoop up that love for ourselves. Nice big inhale. Exhale, heart center release. Nice work, friends. Thank you, thank you. I will. She's telling you, Gretchen's telling you. There's room, everyone. I'll be back. Good morning, Kathy. The girls are so sweet. I will be here starting. Because I am a big communicator. So that I'm like that, so I know other people sometimes want to know exactly. So I will be here in the center on Mondays and Wednesdays from here on out. So thank you for joining me this morning. Oh, Kathy, you're inside now. I am inside now. I came from the out. What is that movie? Can I come in from the out, the movie Home? I have kids. It's like a little alien movie, and she locks them in the freezer. And he's like, can I come out into the out now? And she's like, no, you may not. Thank you. Oh, I can do it, hon. Don't worry about it. I got it. Is another group maybe coming? Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be, right? At 10:15, right? 10:15. I get. 10 o'clock. I know, I get the time. Because I looked at the other. Okay. So I cut you just a little. Yeah, see, I always get. I know, but I try to keep it. I feel like I've been a little all over the place with timing because I'm trying. And by nature, like I get going into a routine, and some days it'll go quicker, some days it'll go slower, and then And at home, the only awkward thing is there's a lag of time, and then I was like, what? It's yeah, and it's like I can't see you though to like converse. So I tried to doing like polls on there. I would be like asking questions, but I'm like, mm-hmm. Yeah. Same with lunges. I've done lunges at home, and I can't see their faces, so I'm sure they're like, Jamie. I'm like, but we're not. I always want them to be conscious though. When I'm at home, I'm like, I don't want you to think about a lunge. That's not where we're going. I know at this age that's hard and it's not good for you. So I'm like, but you still need to work those joints. So I'm like, it's more of a knee bend. I just want you to get into that. Yeah. So I'm like, don't think about going to the floor with it. I just want you to have that positioning where you have to work that knee joint and your hip, right? Because you have to keep this hip from going out. So I'm like, squeeze everything in and just think about a little bend. Um, and I have to tell that my girls in class because they're younger, so they're always like, oh, all the way down. But what I see is this leg is way back here, right? And she was a gym. She knows I'm taking. They go all the way down here. I'm like, first of all, you have so much stress on that knee because it's way too far back. And this knee is working double time as well because your weight's not evenly distributed. I'm like, they always make fun of me because in class I'm like, I know you think the age is not going to happen to you, and I'm just the old teacher here, but I'm telling you, it's going to happen to you, and you're going to be thankful that I told you not, because we do like pigeon, and they'll just dump into their joints. I'm like, just because you're flexible does not mean that you should just into your hip flexors. They won't. Yes. Never. It's never going to happen. You are so welcome. Thank you. I'll be here. Oh, I laughed. I was like, oh, wow. No, she knew. I was like, wow, I thought I had asked a hard one. And she knew it right away. And I was like, wow. I even told my husband studied film in college. He was going to be a film director. But, that's a really hard line of work. So now he's a banker. But he's a very creative banker. And so I told him that question. He's like, they knew. I was like, yeah, she was just like on it. Ah. Oh, fun. Oh, I love it. I love it. You're so welcome. Have a beautiful day, all of you. I'm going to come a little closer, friends, for this next series, as I'm not entirely sure how many we're going to have in studio this morning. So we have a little break here, so just take your time, either continue some breath work or continue with your cool down this morning. But we are just going to take a moment here, and I'm going to see if any other participants are going to show up this morning. So you're going to see me moving around. I'm going to put some of the chairs back just because we did get quite a few out. We weren't sure what to expect. So I'll keep watching. If you have any questions, that's what I'm here for. Good morning. How are you? Are you here for strength training this morning? 10:15? You got some time? Oh, no problem. What's your name, hon?
I'm Karen Elliott, and are you the new lady?
Yeah, Jamie Lowell.
Jamie.
Yes, Karen Elliott. I'm terrible with names, and I'm going to try to be, I'm a face person. I'll always remember a face, but then I'm like,
Well, then you can't hardly see a face.
I know. Yes. So, yeah, I'm the new strength training.
Well, I used to come to all of the
Mm-hmm.
trainings. I had to go for a doctor appointment this morning, but I want to get started.
Yeah, I'll be here. This is the first week in studio. So Mondays and Wednesdays, I'll be here every Monday, Wednesday. Fridays, I'm still going to do from home just because I have a little guy. I have a 5-year-old. And so he's not in school on Fridays. So they've been so sweet to be like, that's okay.
It can work out something.
Yes. Yes. So,
So you're Jamie.
yep. Yes. Well, it's nice to meet you.
I'm glad things have gotten started again.
Me too. It's so nice to see people again. And we were the ladies there. We had 3 ladies this morning that came, and I know that they're voting on the mask mandate here in the end of the month, middle of the month. I think they're waiting until all the college kids kind of go away. So hopefully the numbers here are good.
I've had my 2 shots more than a month ago now. So
Me too. Me and my husband are vaccinated. Mm-hmm.
So I'm anxious to get rid of the mask.
Yeah, teaching this morning. I had, because at home I don't have to wear, and at the studio I teach at Orange Sky, and when we get to our designated spots, we can take them off as long as we're 6 feet away. But I kept them on in here, and I was like, sorry, ladies. I'm like, whew, I haven't had to work out with a mask on. It's a lot, but I'm ready. I think everybody's ready to just some sort of our new normal.
I don't suppose it'll ever be normal again.
No.
For a long time, but oh my, this has been a hard year.
Oh, I know. It has for a lot of people. And I just, yeah, I know there's a story for everyone, right? I mean, it was just a really hard year. It really was.
Well, I finally got out of my house and went to Baltimore, Maryland for about 6 days. My granddaughter lives there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got sick. So
Oh.
I've been at the doctor's office, but now by the time I got an appointment, I feel good.
Yeah. Oh, that's always the
And
worst.
it's
Yeah.
kind of stupid to go.
Yeah. No, it just happens. I've had that before, like even with my kids. I'll you do the whole, should I go? Should I take them? I don't, and then they start feeling better. I'm like, well, I already made the appointment.
I know. I thought, well, I can't really call in this morning and say, well, I feel good, okay. So I went.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of wondered why am I there?
Better safe than sorry, though, for sure, I think.
Oh dear.
Especially nowadays. You just never, there's so much. I think that's what COVID's taught us, right? Like we had gotten really comfortable with just everything, and now you don't realize how easily things like that can be passed around. I mean, you just,
Oh well. My sister.
we're good. We're just catching up.
Hello.
She was wondering if I'm here and how that looks like, but she had a doctor's appointment this morning.
Okay, but I'm well. I wondered. I finally got one. I feel good today.
Yeah.
He couldn't find any problems, so I felt pretty stupid going, but anyway.
You have to lay that groundwork. So
Yes.
next time you go, well, you've been okay, and let's go. But it's kind of nice, I think, for everybody
Mm-hmm.
particularly for you, to kind of put faces.
Yes.
So,
And it was nice to see their ability because, on screen, Facebook, I just saw a little picture of them. And of course I'm doing this. I'm like, I can't. And here I was like, oh, you guys, the girls today, I was like, I'm going to make you, okay, today we're doing weights and you're going to lift your leg.
make you work today.
Good morning.
You'll be back, or you've already gone?
I'm going to stay a while.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Come on in. I'm Jamie.
I'm Meryl.
Marilyn, nice to meet you.
Okay.
Come on in.
How are you doing? Oh, okay now. Okay now. Yeah, I know.
Got 3 people on this morning. Now, do you ladies like to use weights or no? You, okay. I was going to grab you some. Do you like the 2 or the 3 or? Okay, 4. Okay, I got some 4s for you. Okay. Here's 4, Marilyn. And I was telling the ladies I'm really bad with names, but I'm gonna get it, Marilyn. I gotta say it over and over, so I don't do it because I'm such a face person. Now, it is, but even in normal life, like I'm very good at like, I'll see you in public, I'm like, oh hi, and I'm like, oh gosh, what was their name? I'm so terrible. Now my husband can remember somebody he met 15 years ago, and he's like, oh, Marilyn. I'm like,
Is that right?
he's like an elephant. His mind.
Yeah. You know what? I used to remember names. But I'm 85 now. And it seems like every year gets a little harder.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I'm 86.
Oh, dear.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It just gets.
Well, a lot of people don't know me now, because my hair grew out, it was so short.
Yeah, I let mine go white.
Well, yeah, and mine was, this long.
Little pixie.
And,
I'm gonna get my sweater here.
but Adam was like, more short. So then he was gone and,
Mm-hmm.
we had this, so, I thought, well, I can't go get a cut, so I'm just
Oh,
gonna
I
let it
like
grow.
it. I like it.
Well, that's what everybody says, they like it,
Yeah.
But it's, on windy days, my
Yeah.
lord.
That's why I have a ponytail today. I'm like,
Well, it's terrible.
yes, it is. The wind is. Well, I'm happy you guys are here for sure. Oh, probably because I got. Good morning, Betty. Probably because I keep walking around and my mic is not as close to my face. I'm sorry. She can't hear me. Let me know if that's better, hun. Sometimes it's just getting this. Much better. Okay. And this mask. I mean, I'm trying to talk loud through it. Yeah, just choose whatever chair feels best for you this morning. I'm not sure how many. You might be it. I don't know how many people are going to come this morning. Well, I guess the ladies in the first class said that nobody, like it was in the newsletter that I was going to be here, but it wasn't like posted. So if you're somebody that like looks online, and that might be my fault. I don't know my role is like what I can post on there because it's not my page. So I was like, I should have probably though put like a looking forward to seeing but when it's not like your Facebook page, I get like, I don't know what I'm allowed to put on there. Yes, I think I'm very organized by nature. I mean, you see I always have my notebook in classes, and I just have to have.
Well, before, we had a big class.
Yeah.
It was like 30 people.
Oh, wow, in session. Oh, wow.
Right, and we did a great big circle, all the way around.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, well, that's why, because it came early, I thought, well,
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect either, and Jamie didn't either. She said, it'll just kind of depend on how people are feeling and comfortable.
I had made a doctor's appointment earlier when I didn't feel well. He couldn't find any problems, and I almost thought I should cancel it today. But anyway, so.
yeah, well,
I think as we get going, and it's more of a, and now that I know, I think I'll put something on Facebook, but just because I felt bad when I was sick, and I didn't know if Jamie or I didn't know who was gonna. And then somebody said, "Oh, I got an email from one of the ladies," which is so sweet that they can find my normal page. And she just said, are we not having classes? And I didn't get it till later. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I had conjunctivitis, which I'd never had ever. I still don't know how I got it. But my doctor, we had a really tough week last week with our pet being put down. And he said, probably started as allergies, because that's what I thought. I thought I had terrible allergies, the worst I'd ever had in my life. And then he said, and then crying, you just open your eyes up to a virus. And I was like, oh, well, that's great. I was like, just keep adding to the list of things this week. So, but I felt terrible because then Carol sent me a thing. She's like, where are you? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, I just didn't know who was going to I guess I just thought somebody would let you guys know that I was sick. So I was like, now I know. Now I'll put something out when I'm sick so people know. Because I don't want anyone worried about what's happening, because I know they still want.
this morning, and she said her eyes, one of them was just completely shut.
Yep.
But it's allergies and all.
Yep.
what she's allergic to.
Yep.
And she's got 3 dogs. I keep thinking it's
Yeah. Well,
I keep thinking it's those dogs.
the pollen's been really bad. That's what somebody kept telling me because that's what, I mean, the outside of my eyes were just, I mean, I literally wanted to open up my eyes and just scratch them out. They were so itchy.
That's what she said.
Yes. It was terrible.
They were itchy.
Mm-hmm.
And then today, she couldn't get one open, so she took a washcloth,
So, see, it might be,
you know,
yeah.
hot water, and she finally got it open. But she said that my eyes are look terrible. It looks like I've been crying all night.
Yep.
And she said I wasn't. I was asleep.
Yep. That was me. I couldn't open my eyes in the middle of the night. It scared me because I was like, I can't open my eyes. And I was like, yeah. And so it was all, they were all swollen, both of them. This one was my more dominant eye. It was just terrible. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to do this again. Ugh. So now I've just been giving, the doctor, it's a nice doctor, he gave us extra drops just in case my kid, I was like, what if my kids get it now? Because it's very contagious. And I was supposed to meet the center here on Friday just to like walk through things. I'm like, I'm not coming there. Like, I don't want to give it to any of you guys. Like, I'll just see you on Monday. I just don't want anyone to have to worry about. But now I'm in the clear, but I'm like, oh, goodness gracious. It was a lot to deal. Yeah, because we'll do this session till 10:45, right? 5, 10, yeah, and then we do 11 to 11:30. So maybe some people are coming at 11, and I don't want to look away from you guys, but I'm trying to do both here. But yeah, so hopefully, and like we said, once we get the word out, people realize that it's back too. Because I know yoga too has had a slow following too, just people being comfortable and realizing that they were able to get somebody in here. So, because sometimes people think I'm the yoga teacher. I'm like, I love yoga, but I'm not certified. I take yoga.
Well, I'm doing that chair yoga.
Yeah, yep.
And I think they started out maybe one at 8 or 9 people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're up to that now. But she said Friday, or when I came Thursday, that she hoped that, you know, I mean, she could take more.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't have to be so. The problem is keeping everybody 6 feet away. Like even at our studio, Orange Sky, like we have these hearts on the floor to when students come in to know that's where you put your mat to keep everybody. And I remember before COVID, I probably had, which is a lot because our room isn't quite as big as this, but I would have anywhere, like on a normal night, I would have 12 to 18 girls in my class, and now I'm down to 8 because that's all we can have. So it's been hard because I'm used to all that energy in the classroom, and then it's like, all right. And then I am doing the Zoom in my classes as well on top of teaching. So then I always worry about, I have a bar and equipment. What do they have at home? They can kind of do the same. You know, it's been hard for everyone to kind of just get through the stuff. Yeah. And it's just sad because that stuff is like what you really need. You need health and wellness when you're going through a pandemic. I mean, I wish they would have been able to figure out something to keep people active. Yeah, because keeping everybody closed up was just, I mean, I get it. It was real bad in certain parts of the world for sure. But yeah, keeping people closed up was just.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize it, and I wasn't watching real well on TV, but it looks like Kansas is one of the really bad places right now. Is that right? The high number of
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was only a few really red states,
Uh-huh. And we're still one of them?
6 or 7, and Kansas was, I don't know, I didn't think that was a problem.
Well, one time I heard that people in Kansas are not getting shot.
Oh, goodness.
And that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've heard of even friends that are nurses at first refusing. I'm like, I feel like you took an oath. I was a social worker before I started having children, and I would have gotten the shot. Like, I feel like when you're in a service field, I just feel like that you have to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
and it's ignorant to say you're not going to. And one of the friends I knew, she works in hospice. I said, how dare you? You work with people that get the shot. I said, I understand kids, because you don't know, but
Well, you were a retired nurse, yeah. Well, I have,
I got my shots as quick as I could.
yeah, right.
yeah.
I have a friend that's a retired nurse, and she still, she has to get there, she says, I said, when? And one time,
Yeah.
we talked about it, and she said, well, she said they haven't done enough research. And
My thing is, for kids, yes, I don't want my kids to get it because we don't have enough. But I'm at the age that something's going to take me, and it's probably not going to be the vaccination shot at this age. I'm just like, it doesn't warrant not getting. I mean, the risk outweigh, And so I was like, it's going to be something else that gets me. It's not going to be the vaccination, in my opinion. And so I just think you need to. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's where I went to high school. Yeah. Yep. That's where I went to high school at. Yep. Really? I didn't grow up there, though. I grew up on the West Coast, and then I moved there when I was younger with my mom. It's Lowell, but it was Stevens, but we're not known in the community. Smith Center, which is where my father-in-law's family's from. So, I don't know if they're related to the Washington Lowells, but Smith Center, Kansas is where my father-in-law's from. So yeah, but that's where I graduated high school. But I'm not close with my family, so you wouldn't, unfortunately. So you wouldn't, unfortunately, get to meet them but it was fun growing up there, though. I still talk to a lot of my classmates. We were a small class. I think we were only 98. So I think there was only 26 of us that graduated, which is, my husband went here, so he had like 450 kids. So we grew up so differently. I'm like, and then my kids go here now, I'm always like super nervous for them because it's just such a different way of life.
I'm little, I can't remember now exactly, but my two nieces were cronies.
Yes. Gretchen and Carrie. So Carrie would have been, yeah, I was in school with them. So Carrie would have been, she a year older than me? Maybe 2. And then Gretchen was the year behind me. She was a cheerleader, right? I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure she was. And I didn't know them as well just because I didn't do cheer, but I did track. And I don't think they did track. I think they did volleyball and basketball, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But yeah, I know them. Yep, she was my English teacher. And TL is what we called him. I loved him. He was my government teacher, but he was also my relay coach in track. And so I adored him. So he always went to bat for me for running because I was really good. And so even though my family wasn't so great, he was like, Jamie, you need to figure it out because you're running this weekend. And then I remember I had graduated high school. I was running at Highland and came home, and we went from stellar years of just going to state every year, winning regional, state all the time, and then came back, and the next group of girls that the program kind of went, and so came through to watch a home meet, and TL said, Jamie, you got those spikes ready? You ready to get on the track? And I said, oh, TL, I would if I could. I'd help you win it, but they're not going to let me get on here. So, well, let's get started this morning. But it's so funny. Small world, isn't it? It's such a small world, I feel like. We're going to sit nice and tall in our chair this morning. Nice song. You can put your weights down for right now. Putting those feet flat on the floor. Opening up that chest, rolling those shoulders down and back, just so we get a nice open breath work here. We're just going to start by our little gentle marching, and you can add your hands if you want to, but you don't have to. Lots of options. You're going to see me move because I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone this morning. Good morning, Mary. Happy to have you here this morning. Nice work. So Thinking about that core as we're lifting, just getting the heart rate a little elevated this morning, warming up the body safely. Nice work. We're going to do a couple more here. 5, 4, and then we're going to step out. 3, 2, and 1. So what it's going to look like is you're just going to step those feet out, warming up the hips as well as the leg. And you could always do these standing if you felt inclined to. So my girls at home, if you want to do the step out standing, you are more than welcome to. Let's do 5. We're going to go back to our marching. 3, 2, and 1. Coming back into those little marches. Again, option to add your arms if that feels good. This every time you talk, the mask slips. It's so annoying. That's why I think it's funny when they say, cover your nose. I'm like, yeah, but when you're talking, it naturally starts to fall. Sometimes I don't think it's because people are trying not to cover their nose. It just happens. Nice work. All right, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to keep our feet flat. We're just going to lift our heels. So warming up our feet here. You're always going to see I bring my notebook. I bring my notebook to every class. I got to have my notes, my outline. I teach so many classes during a week that and it's funny because my husband's like, sometimes I don't feel like you need it. I'm like, I don't, but it's like a safety net because I got so much running through my mind through the day. I got to keep things on track. Yes, I've always been a note taker and that's just how my brain works. Let's do 3 more here, and then we're going to take this right leg out and do some extensions. Last one here. So we're going to take our right leg out, just extend it, and bring it back in, just kind of warming up our knee joints and our legs here safely. Beautiful. Make sure I don't see anyone. All right, we're going to hold it out here. And you're just going to point and flex your foot a little bit. Again, warming up our calves and our toes and all the joints in our feet. And if you want, you can start to gently roll it around, work out that ankle, any kinks. Nice job. And then switch directions when you're ready. Nice job. And release. We'll go to that other side, left leg. Starting with those extensions. Nice job. Out and in. The chair's going to break on me, I think. Doesn't sound good. I'm like, don't make me fall on the floor here. One more here. We'll keep it nice and long and flex and point that toe. It's going to be a beautiful day. Like, it's going to be nice, not super hot, I think. It's just going to be like perfect temperature. And start to roll that ankle. Nice job. And when you feel complete, you can switch those rolls and do a couple in the other direction. Nice job. All right, release. We're going to sit nice and tall here. Let's take our arms up. Exhale, release. Just push that energy away. Inhale up. And exhale, release. We can start to do some gentle shoulders and arms. I kind of do them together. It's like my shoulders, my arms, just rolling in one direction here. Keeping the spine nice and long. And then when you feel ready, you can switch directions, which always feels a little weirder. Yeah, see, I had to do it too. I was like, which direction was I going? No, I was going the opposite. Yeah. Or you can do a couple in each direction. You can play back and forth here. Nice job. And I got to take this off. I start to get hot. It was the air conditioner came on and then it felt a little cold. Do a couple more. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Maybe you want to do some gentle rolls with the neck, being very conscious that we go slow enough that we don't feel any popping, cracking. Being very kind to your joints this morning. Our necks are often miss out on those movements. We want to get that involved. Nice job. When you come back to the top here, inhale and then exhale, just switch directions. Always inhaling at the top and then exhaling as you come down chin to chest. Nice work. one more here. And slowly release, coming back center when you finish that last one. And we're going to grab our weights this morning. So we're going to start with some bicep work. So you can keep your hands on your thighs and do them right here, or if you feel more comfortable coming to the side. Whatever you choose, feet are flat on the floor. We roll our shoulders down and back so we stay nice and tall as we lift into those biceps. And we inhale the weights up, exhale, release. And being very mindful as you release that we don't just drop our weights, because that's easy to do. We want to make sure that we slowly release so we're being kind to our joints and we're still getting that work in that bicep the same amount as we're going up, we're going down. Nice work. Keep squeezing, my ladies at home. Nice work. Squeezing at the top. We're inhaling the weights up and exhaling them down. Nice job. We're going to do a couple more here, and then we're going to hold what I call our little bicep curl, that little 90 degree here. 3, 2, and 1. So we're going to hold this 90 degrees so our biceps engage the whole time. So we're just going to reach out a little bit, then pull those elbows back in. So reach. So now we're getting into the shoulders a little bit. We're still working those biceps, but we're working our mid-back too, right? Because we got to use that back to pull those weights out. So we want to keep our spine nice and long, and we want to pull those tummies back, keeping them engaged as much as possible. 5, 4, nice work. 3, 2, and 1. Release maybe. Sometimes holding weights, I feel like they start to hurt your wrist. So I would say roll out the wrist, whatever feels good. Kind of shake out the neck if the traps up here start to hurt because we're holding those weights. Doing those movements that feel good for you. All right, moving on. We're going to take our arms, what I call a field goal, and we're just going to go into a press. Now, remembering that if shoulders are an issue for you, if coming up this high does not feel good, bring that range of motion more in front of your face. That's still working the shoulders, and you're being kinder. So if you've had any shoulder surgeries or discomfort there, that too. Exactly. So coming a little low, even if you don't go all the way up, if you're just coming here, exactly. Sometimes you haven't been using those arm muscles, and so coming all the way up, you start to feel like, if you feel like you're straining your neck, then I always say bring it lower, because I don't want this trying to get it all the way up there, because that's just not good for your muscles. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Release, shake it out if you need to. Nice work. Good job, ladies. Somebody write me. I always see it's so tiny that I have to go way up there. I can't see it. Nice job. Okay, so adding on some more shoulders, some mobility for our whole body here. So we started in this, field goal. I'm going to say it's a closed goal post. So we're going to squeeze it in, push it back out. So really lift the spine. Think about pulling that tummy back. And you're looking right in front of you and you're squeezing. So inhale the arms, exhale, release. Nice job. Beautiful. Inhaling and exhaling. 5. Nice job. 3. Keep going, ladies. 2. Now hold. This is where it gets challenging, so our arms are tired, right? Hold those close in. This is where you can stay. Or maybe it's just a tiny little, as I call it, a little pulse. You're in that, what you call a burn, right? Because it's burning, right? It's like, oh, I can feel it working. So we're just going to stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. That's going to feel good. You're like, oh, I felt that in my shoulders. So what we're doing, we're just staying in that burn area a little bit longer, forcing the muscle to really turn on, because the change happens when we challenge it, right? So our head, our body's saying, okay, it's time to be done. But if we push it, we're like, nope, just kidding. We're going to go just a teeny bit longer. Then our body, those muscle fibers kick on even harder and say, oh, she's making me work a little harder today. So that's all good stuff. So grab a drink. Well, no, you didn't drink water, ladies. Got to bring your water next time. Stay hydrated for sure. All right. So we're going to go stand behind our chair. And we're going to get some balance in, so key. You put your weights down, hon. We did this in the last session. So we do a lot of what I call hip mobility, strength, and balance, which is what it's good for. So God forbid we ever were to fall, hopefully we can catch ourselves. But if we were to fall and hurt ourselves, because we've built that strength in our joints, our recovery hopefully is going to be a lot quicker and less painful than somebody who hasn't been doing these exercises. So we're going to just start. I always call it like a star. So option here is just to put your left leg out and just hold. Maybe this is where you want to be. Or maybe you want to hover and lift your foot up. Maybe you want to lift your hands. So that's all you're doing. You're just coming into a little bit of a balance pose here, keeping your chest nice and lifted, pulling. And your foot's going to dance, right? Your ankle starts to dance, and that's totally normal because it's working really hard to keep you lifted. And release. And then I always say, shake out the feet. My feet always start to cramp on me and talk to me. Totally normal. And then we're going to switch other side. So you're going to get a nice bend in that inside leg, which is your left leg. Taking that right leg out. Option, just hold it here. Or maybe you lift it up off the ground. Maybe you play with hovering, just keeping yourself really nice and safe. Squeezing, make sure everything is squeezing as much as it can. Your glutes, your leg. And exhale, release. How'd that feel? Good? Challenging? I know. The balancing is the hardest part, which is why adding, weights makes it even more challenging, but we don't need that necessarily because we just want to work that mobility. So we're going to add on. So this time we're going to go to the back. We're going to work our hamstrings. Those are important too. So right leg is going to have a nice bend in it. You're going to take that left leg back, and maybe this is where you are. You're like, Jamie, this is enough off kilter where I feel unstable. So just hold. Or maybe you just lift that leg just a tiny bit. See, just taking that leg behind us. So I always say focus on something on the ground that's not moving so you can really practice. And this leg's going to dance. Squeezing the glutes, squeezing your core as much as possible really help keep you, and then slowly come up. Nice job. All right. We're going to do that other side, and then I'm going to give you a break because I know the balancing is the worst part, I know. So soft bend in that inside leg, which would be my left. And I'm going to take my right leg just behind me, keeping that foot pointed or lifting it up just a little bit, whatever feels good for you. And again, that chair is there for your support. You don't even have to take your fingers off. Sometimes that's enough. You feel unstable enough. Breathing into it. And release. Nice job. Shake it out. Beautiful. So good. All right. I'm going to bring my chair, and you're welcome to stand to the side of your chair. This is our last little balancing. So you're going to have your left leg into your chair, and you're going to bring that foot in front of you. Just a little bit. It doesn't always have to look like mine. It can just be a teeny bit. But that's your balance. So standing nice and tall. Maybe you lift your foot up a little bit. Maybe this is where you are. Just leaving it on the floor. Because I always say, we did this last week, I think, online. We did what I called the tightrope, and I made you go here and hold. So, and we're not doing anything but moving our foot a little bit. So that's why I say, knowing where your body is, if this is enough and you don't need to lift your leg, that's fine, because you're still having to keep your body stable. And bring it back in. Nice work. All right, we're going to go the other side. Other leg, I should say. So this time it'll be our right leg that is our supporting leg, and our left leg is going to be the one that goes out in front of us. Beautiful, nice work. Just holding, squeezing, everything's nice and engaged. You got this. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Beautiful. Shake it out. Good job, ladies. All right. We're going to come back to our chairs. See, I just wanted to do a little bit of that work for our getting our legs involved, right? So we're going to go back to our weights here. And we're going to sit with our feet flat on the floor, and I'm going to have you just scoot a little bit from your chair. So what I call is you can hinge a little bit over your legs, okay? So you can keep that chest lifted. You're going to come into those rows, just bringing those arms, working that mid-back a little bit. Got to work that tummy too, because it's working to keep that squeeze as you're coming to the top. Nice job. Looking right out in front of you. and squeezing that mid-back. Back support. I always focus a lot on trunk space, is what I call it, back, trunk. That's so important for us. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a little bit of a break, roll it out. So I was telling the other women in the other class, I like to do what we call layering because it's our brain curls, right? When we have to do a couple of movements together, our brain coordination has to keep up with it. So we're going to do our row, but then we're going to do our lateral. So you're going to row it up and lateral. And again, taking this at your pace, inhaling as the arms come up, exhaling as they go down. Not so much worrying about how high the arms get to the side. It's more that intentional work for you and where your mobility is. Because I see a lot of times people do this. I'm like, oh gosh, don't do that. That's hurting me looking at you. Well, and it's not good for you. I mean, in classes, even my young girls, if I say do lateral, they're just doing this. I'm like, you have too heavy of weights. You should never be straining like that. It should be a fluid. If you can't handle the weight, then drop them. But, the ego gets involved and they don't want to let the weights down. And I'm like, it's not about how heavy you're lifting, friends. Not at all. All right, let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Last one. And release. Nice job. All right, beautiful. We're going to do 1, maybe 2 more. I'm looking at the time here. 2 more maybe. So we're going to do one more leg thing. We're going to do a little bit of core and legs. So did you guys ever come to my online? If you did, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember names. Okay. So we did this in my online class. And you keep your chair there. I'm turning it so you can see what I'm doing here. So my ladies at home, we've done this before. So we scoot ourselves away from the chair. You don't have to do the whole thing. Listen to your body and how it feels. So this could just be where you are. You're going to inhale. It's a little crunch, right? Exhale, and then maybe you come up. Push through your heels, come into a little squat. If the squat doesn't feel safe for you, then you can just come right here into our ab work, okay? So we're going to do it all together here. Sitting nice and tall. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, pull that core, and maybe you come to a standing position. And that's okay. Everybody needs to know where they are because this is a lot to get up. Sometimes the knees, too, don't want to do it, and that's okay. So inhaling and come up. Beautiful, nice work. And see, I sometimes have to look back because I'm afraid I'm going to miss my chair. It's easier, by the way, if you're at home and you have a wall. At home when I was teaching, I would push my chair up against the wall because then I could trust that no matter where my booty hit, I wasn't going to miss it. So it's nice to just listen to your body. My ladies at home, no, you do not have to come into the squat. That's just extra strength. But you're still working. This core is working as you're lifting back. All right, let's do 3 more all together. We got this. Nice job. Oh, beautiful. Last one here. Exhale, push. Yep, it's always that last one, isn't it? The last one's like, oh, I'm ready. I always know the number. It's like, in class, I don't like to count sometimes because I feel like as soon as you start counting, that's when your body goes, oh no. Even with abs, you're like, how many more? Oh, 6. I can't. And then your body starts to shake. I'm like, I don't know what it is about. As soon as you start counting, then if you were just going, you're like, okay, you're done. It makes me laugh. So, all right, friends. Well, I think that is a good place to begin our cool down this morning. I challenged you enough, yes. We did a lot of challenging movements this morning. So I'm a big fan, even though I said I'm not a yoga teacher. I'm very connected with yoga. It's so good for us. I always tell my ladies, remember that to create that sacred practice for yourself, and this is a sacred practice. Any movement you create should be a sacred space for you, that you're creating that time and space for yourself, which is so important. And I think one thing that COVID should have taught a lot of us is that when you're forced to slow down and there's no agenda, that was a gift we were provided. That's one of the gifts I think we were given, is that we just go through life and we don't even think about things sometimes. We just go. And taking those moments to really celebrate who you are your breath, the life that you have every day, because that is a gift. You're not guaranteed to wake up the next morning. Any of us, doesn't matter what age we are. So I think it's really important to just connect to yourself and that breath. So we're going to start sitting nice and tall. We're going to open the chest. Exhale, slide those hands forward and round the spine. So we're kind of doing a seated cat-cow. Inhaling forward and exhale, round the spine. Nice job. Finding a place that feels good for you and your cadence of breath, which means my tempo of breathing may be different than yours, and that's okay. We want to allow that space for you to move at your pace. Feeling grounded to your breath, to your practice. Nice job. Last one here. When you find that space coming into that neutral spine here, we're going to sit nice and long. We're just going to come into some gentle shoulder, I can never say shoulder rolls together. That word always messes me up. Try to say it fast. It's like they should probably do a bloopers of these videos of me. I'm sure my husband would just die laughing, because I say some stuff that I'm like, And when you're ready, maybe switch directions of those rolls. Nice job. So as we're cooling down, try not to think about what's next, where we got to go, what errands we got to run. Just really trying to give yourself that gratitude and grace for showing up today. You got a surprise. You weren't even going to stay today, and here you are. So just celebrating that movement that you get to create every day is so important. And release. We're going to take our right arm just gently over, get a little stretch. Maybe roll out your wrist if that feels nice. Nice job. And when you're ready, we're going to take other side, left arm, gentle little stretch here. Beautiful. And exhale, release. We're going to take our arms nice and big. Big inhale. Exhale, you're going to take right over left, like you're giving yourself a big squeeze and saying, thank you so much for today. And I'm so happy. And then release. We're going to switch left arm over right. Again, nice big squeeze. Sometimes I tell people, if you want to like explore your body and kind of round the spine, whatever feels good for you. And exhale, release. And we always finish my classes. The girls online know this. I'm a little cheesy. It's okay. But it's important to remember to give ourselves love every day. So we're going to visually imagine we're scooping up big love for ourselves this morning. So inhale, scoop up the love. Exhale, we release anything that's not serving us today. Yes, we just leave it right here. Let's do that again. Nice big inhale, scoop up love. Exhale, release, let it go. Beautiful, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again on Wednesday. This has been such an incredible gift. I was telling the other ladies that a yogi at Orange Sky is who referred my name. And so I would never had this opportunity had she not thought she would be great for this stuff. And I was like, oh, you're so kind. So I've just really loved it. I was a social worker for many, many years. I have a master's in social work, and I did children and families. So this has been a new population, and I just love it. I mean, it's just been so fun for me to like get out of my comfort zone, because even training at Orange Sky, I have some women that are my age, of course, and maybe a little older, but just because I think the culture of where Orange Sky is, we're downtown in Aggieville, I get a lot more college girls, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's been nice to kind of train a different population. It's been so fun and just a breath of fresh air. So I'm just so happy to be here, and it's been so neat. You're so welcome. I can't wait for next week. It'll be so fun. Well, stick around if you want. There's no rush at all. Oh, yes. I know, we're working out the kinks. So, Betty, next week, the media coordinator is going to work with me on this stand situation that they have, that I can move it around. It won't be on this table I'm using. We just didn't have the time this morning. So, yes, I'm sure it was a little dark for you, and I apologize for that. But hopefully on Wednesday, I'm going to have this stand situation that rolls. I don't know if you've been in the center, you probably know what I'm talking about. And I can move it to a better location and closer to me. It was hard with the long table to get you too close to me. So Thank you again for joining me this morning. And thanks for letting me know, Betty. I appreciate that. Yes, Cassie, thank you. See you Wednesday. Thank you, Karen. We'll start the next session here in about 10 minutes. If anyone is staying on, feel free to drop me a little note and let me know you're staying. Excuse me. Excuse me. And you're welcome to stay for the next session, or I can help you with your weights. You let me know what you're thinking. Oh, yes, I can get you another one. You want a 3 or a 2?
Well, 3 maybe.
Okay.
Oh, I could do it.
Oh, no, you're fine. I don't mind. That's what I'm here for. It's amazing how just a little bit. Yeah. Sometimes, at the studio, I keep telling them in bar, we only use light weights. And so you're not supposed to go over a 5-pound weight. But I really wish we had 4. So we only have at the studio 3s and 5s. And I wish we had 2s, 3s, and 4s, because I get some girls that get those 5s. And in bar, we stay in the movement a long time. So some movements we'll do 3 counts of 16, but I won't count it the whole time. But that's how many we're doing. So if you're doing those 5s and those tiny little movements, and I see girls, and of course they're not doing it because they're relying on the momentum of the arm, or like triceps. Oh my gosh, I see it all the time. They'll get a 5-pound and they're swinging. And I'm like, first of all, you're not really working the tricep because you're not in the movement. But it's hard to cue that without pointing something out. I try to cue it without saying you. And I used to, before COVID, I used to be able to walk around and actually manipulate them a little bit, or get next to the bar and so they could see me. But now I have to stay 6 feet away. And but yeah, it's those lighter weights. I'm like, you're working, I promise, even if you don't have super heavy weights, because I'm trying desperately to. When I was growing up, I did weightlifting in high school and it was all about how big can you get, right? The heavier, the better. And I'm like, we're learning that some of those, like from the 70s and all the jazzercise 80s stuff, is actually where we should have kept some of that stuff instead of going on to the next trend, CrossFit, all the crazy lifting. And I'm like, not that it's bad for you, but if you haven't been doing it, my husband and I did CrossFit, but we didn't grow up doing that kind of stuff, and we only made it a year. My husband developed I thought it was made up, but it's a real thing, fat pads in his knees, which is basically incredible inflammation, and it rubs, like it feels like bone on bone. And so that happened because of CrossFit, because there was so much down and up on your knee joints, but then you're using all these. Hello, come on in. Good morning. Are you here for strength training? Yes, come on in. We just finished, so I can open this door to. Yes. I'm actually going to use the little girl's room before we. Mary, maybe I can move this so you can see me better. It's a little lighter that way, hopefully. Yeah, she did the last session with us. Good morning. Are you joining this?
I'm Gisela.
And I say your name. Thank you. It's so much easier to meet you. I came home and told my husband. She kept saying it. No, now I'm not because I feel terrible. And so I told my husband, I'm like, I wrote it. You should see. I have a note in my phone that I wrote it like you said. And I said, honey, Gisela. And I said, I'm going to try really hard. I still might butcher it, and I apologize. But I told my husband, I'm like, I know she's trying to tell me, and it's on text, and I'm still like,
You think about it too much
I do.
because it's so easy.
It is Gisela. Gisela. Okay. Oh, my goodness.
A really old German name.
It's beautiful, but I just was like, I think I was saying it like, maybe like Spanish, right? And I was like, I was like, it's terrible, it's wrong. And I was like, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming this morning. Yeah, it was just a. Do you guys like to use weights? Can I get you any weights that you want to use this morning? Okay, okay. 2 pounds? Okay. So here's some 2 pounds.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. And what would you like, sir? You want 2 as well?
He doesn't want to sit under the fan. I said he could sit next to me.
And we could, well, and we could turn the, I don't know how she turned the, one of the ladies helped me with the fans because we got here, yeah, because I think, well, the other girl did. And so I was just probably, she turned it down, so I turned it back up. I wonder if it's this. Are they on timers? I don't know. Oh, yeah. I feel like she hit it. I thought she hit this button. Good morning. The fans, is it this? Oh, the click. Okay. I was turning them. They were getting cold. So I was like, yeah, I did. The air kicked on and it got a little chilly.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Have you shut it off?
No, I turned it back up. One of the ladies helped me at the very beginning because it got hot in here. She turned it down, but I turned it back up just a little bit.
It's not a complicated.
Yeah.
You ready to go?
Oh, you got your weights? Okay. Good morning, ladies. We're going to get set up here and then we'll start our next session. Good morning. Can I get you girls any weights? Do you want any weights? Do you like to use weights normally? What size do you typically like? 5s? Okay. You're so welcome.
My name is Daisy.
Daisy, I'm Jamie. Nice to meet you. I'm going to do really hard to remember people's names. But if I ask again, it's only because I'm a face person. I'm always like, oh, I know you. But yeah, name's Daisy.
I'm glad to see all of you guys.
Good morning. Yeah, would you? I made it. I'm here.
We were worried about you.
I know. Thank you. It was a rough week. It was a rough week. I don't want to go through that week again. And our neighbor, they had lost their dog a year ago, so I didn't. And she's really, she's still sad about it a lot, and they're retired. And so all week I kept kind of seeing her. I'm like, I don't know when to tell her about our situation. I don't want to make her sadder. And then finally we saw her yesterday. Had a really good 40-minute conversation with her, and so that was really nice. But we've had such kind people. We've had so many people. Oh, yeah, I need to talk a little louder. I know. And these masks, I'm ready to have these gone. I feel like I have a very loud voice, but then this is muffling me, so I know. Maybe some people like that it's muffling me.
Purple anyway.
I'm sorry.
I like the purple anyway.
Oh, well, my son. I still took this for my son. He forgot it at the house, and I was kind of panicking. So I have a freshman at K-State right now. And so I was like, oh, I'll just use his purple mask today. That works perfect. But we are K-State alumni in our family. I was telling the other participants, they were asking kind of where we came from. So my father-in-law played basketball for K-State back in the day. I think it was
Your father-in-law?
my father-in-law, Dennis Lowell. Yeah, so I'm trying to think what year, 70, I'm going to get it wrong, 70-something, because he's 75. I always get I'm like, I don't know exactly the date, but yeah, he used to play for K-State, and my in-laws and all of us are all K-State alumni, so we bleed purple in our family, with the exception of our trader, my brother-in-law. My sister married a KU man. So we like to give him, he's the only KU man in our family. We like to give him a hard time. There's always one that ruins it. Well, good morning. I'm so happy to have so many people here in person. It's so nice to get a face with a name, because all I could see online were these teeny little bubbles. And so then I also get to see what we're working with and what our ability is, because, at home I was like, the first session, I think some people were, and I loved it. They were like, Jamie, no, we're not doing that. And I was like, that's good. You tell me, because I can't see you. So it's very helpful to me. So we are going to start in our chair, nice warm up, okay? So we're going to sit tall as we possibly can with our back against our chair here, long spine. So when we inhale, we're always going to try to inhale through our nose, exhale out our mouth. And I always say, when you're doing these breathing exercises, really visualize you're soaking in, you're breathing in all the good stuff, and we're exhaling out the mouth. That's my phone, I apologize. I thought I had it on silent. Exhaling anything that doesn't serve you, that you brought in today, that doesn't feel good. You don't want to bring it out with you today. You want to leave it right here, which is the healthy place to leave it. Let's not take it out. So we're going to start to do some gentle shoulder rolls. See, I got to say that word slow because I always butcher that word. So just slowly rolling those shoulders down the back. So inhaling them up, exhaling them down. Nice job. Beautiful. And when you feel like you're complete and you've done enough in this direction, you can start to switch directions, getting those shoulder rolls. If you see me get up, it's because I can't see if anyone posts or comments on there. And I got good eyesight, but I can't see tiny little words there. It's not happening. Beautiful. Nice job. All right, we're going to release. We're going to take those arms a little bigger. So when I say arm rolls, you don't have to go all the way up here. If you want to keep them more to the side, remembering your shoulder mobility and what feels good for you. And everybody is at a different level, and that's okay. It's perfect. Maybe you could, I would say if it wasn't COVID, you could give your neighbor a high five. And then I said, you can't say that, Jamie. And then you can start to switch those circles, opening up the chest and the arms. Beautiful. Tapping into your movement this morning. So if it's the first time you've created any movement, just being really mindful and kind to your joints. Nice job. And releasing. We're going to do what I call little hip circles, but we're not standing. So we're going to take our arms and just reach and then come back center. And only going as far out as feels good for you. Nice job. Coming with the breath, so inhaling those arms out, exhaling them back in. Nice job. Let's do one more this side, and then we'll switch. So we'll start to the left. Inhale it out and around. Keeping those core muscles engaged. You're pulling them, actively working them. Nice job. Let's do one more here. And the last one. Nice job. Continuing, see, we're kind of working down our body. We're going to take our legs out and bring them back in. Some knee inflections here, warming up the joints in our knees and our legs. Beautiful. Taking this as slow as you need to. You can always come to the top and pause and then bring it back in slowly, or you can go quicker. Whatever feels good. Couple more here. And then we're going to leave our foot, and if you need to keep your foot down here, you don't have to keep it lifted, but you're just going to come into some points and flex, warming up that foot joint. Nice job. And then if this does not hurt, you can start to do some gentle rolls, being mindful again not to have any popping. We don't want any of that. And then maybe switching directions. Nice job. And we're going to slowly release. We're going to go into our left leg. Same thing, just bringing that leg up, working that knee joint a little bit. Nice job. Working out any of those kinks this morning. We get stiff if we've been sitting too long. Nice job. 3, 2, and keep that leg up or down on the ground and just point and flex. Nice job. Beautiful. When you're ready, start to do those gentle circles in the other direction. Or the first direction. Sorry, you haven't went the other direction. We're not there yet. And then when you're ready, you can go the other direction. Nice job. And release. We're sitting nice and tall on our chair. So we're just going to come into little marches here. So you're just lifting your legs here. If you want, you can add your arms, pretend you're on a little walk here. Or if you like to keep your hands on your knees for support, that's fine too. What I love is that we're all at different stages, but we're here to support one another, right? In our wellness little community here we got going. This is beautiful. Keep lifting. Nice job. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Nice job. We're going to grab our weights. So taking your, did you need weights or would you prefer not to have? Do you want some weights? Do you want some weights? Nope. Okay. That's perfect. Okay. Had to leave for a Zoom meeting. Oh, hi, Jane. Welcome back. I have to read it out. I was like, what did she say? She left and she came back. All right. So you always in my classes, you do not have to have weights. You can do all the movements without. But we're going to stand seated in our chair, flat feet. So we're going to come into our biceps here. So I always tell everyone you can start here. You can keep them right here on your lap. Or if you want a wider range of motion, you'll let them go to the side. Whatever you're choosing, though, it's really important not to just let the weights fall, right? Because we don't want to be hard on our elbow joints. So we're going to inhale the weights up. And again, beautiful. If you don't have weights, you're choosing here. Still actively working. Beautiful. Nice job. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep with that beautiful breath work. Help support us during this movement and all movements, actually. Nice job. Nice job. 3 more. And I like to do our brain curl sometimes is doing multiple movements, right? Our brain has to think about what are we doing. So we're going to come here. You're going to release for just a moment so I can walk you through this. So we were doing our bicep, but we're going to go close bicep and then out to a W. In close, swing those elbows out wide. Beautiful. So we're just making our mind think about what are we doing? So close, out to a W, bring those biceps up. Nice job. Keep inhaling the weights up, exhaling as they come down, squeezing. Beautiful. Let's do 5. You got this. 4, 3, 2, last one all together here, and release. So it's important when we get done. Sometimes our wrists start to hurt, right? Because we're holding these weights. So it's okay to kind of do whatever feels good, stretch out. We've done this at home. If you've been on my online classes, I'll say grab your wrist, stretch it out, whatever feels good for you. We need to do that. All right. So continuing some mobility here. We're going to come into some shoulder presses. But no, we talked about this in our last session. If you've had shoulder issues, coming all the way up here, if you feel like your neck's starting to strain to do that or it hurts your shoulders, don't come that high. You can come right in front of your face. You can come lower range. So working wherever feels good for you this morning. And you also don't have to go as high. So if it's just a little lift, that's okay too. Beautiful. Wherever you are, if you're not having weights, you can just literally work. Oh, somebody's trying to get in. Keep going. I don't want to make sure somebody's locked out. I heard them. And now they're walking away. I don't know if I can catch them. Hello? Oh. Beautiful. 3 more. And release. Nice job. Beautiful. Does that feel good? Get the shoulders all nice and warm, yes? Okay, so again, you don't have to have weights. We're going to work some more of our arms here. So we're going to punch across and just go side to side, alternating that arm, keeping that spine nice and long, and pulling that core back. That core is helping support you when we have these weights in our arms. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Nice job. 5, 4, doing so good. 2, and 1, release. Now we're going to do all that again, and then we'll take a break. I like to do circuit training, so we'll kind of build through some things, take a break, and go back through it so our body has to work to keep up with us. So remember where we started, right? We started with our biceps, so whether you were here or longer. Now, even if I haven't cued you to take a break, please take a break if you're feeling faint, or this is too much, Jamie, this feels too much. Or if you're like, I want to let go of the weights. I wanted to use the weights, I changed my mind. That's okay too. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice job. Beautiful. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Release for just a moment if you need to stretch out those wrists because we've had them for a little bit. Work out any kinks. Use a little noodle arms sometimes I say, okay? Whew. All right, we're going to go into our shoulder presses again. So lifting and lowering those shoulders, working the mobility in those shoulders. Even some of that lateral movement is working there. Nice job. And my mask, every time you talk, it just goes down. Sorry. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and release. So we got one more thing, and then we'll take a longer recovery, I promise. So we're going to go into our silly arms here, where we have a regular bicep, and then we go out to a W, normal bicep. Those elbows, try to keeping them as close to your body as you can. Beautiful. And that chest and spine stay flat against that chair as much as possible. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Beautiful. Let's do 5 and 4, 3, keep going. 2, last one right here. And release. You can put those weights down for a moment here. Grab a drink, although you guys did not bring water. Who brought water? You got to bring your water. Wednesday, bring your water. It's important to stay hydrated. Always bring your water. But I'll forgive you this one time, but you should always have your water. They don't even have a water fountain in here, do they? They do not. They do not. All right. I like you to take a whole minute here of recovery. It's important that we just really do any rolling out of anything until we move on to the next movement, so you don't just go into the next thing feeling, and this is going to be better, right? You're going to be able to hear me a lot better without this thing on, so I apologize. What is it? In the middle of May, we're going to vote on this in Manhattan, I think, so fingers crossed. Fingers and toes crossed. All right, we're ready for the next thing. Yes, we're going to have some fun this morning. All right, so if you're ready, grab those weights again. So this is an option. We talked about layering on. So we're going to come into these lateral arm moves, but then if you want, you can lift your heels up a little bit. So we're working our legs here and our arms. Beautiful. Lifting and lowering. Inhaling them up, exhaling them down. Nice job. Keep going. Breathing. Keeping that spine as long as you can. And knowing that you do not have to take your weights all the way up here. Lower range of motion is fine as well. Nice job. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Nice job. All right. Who's ready to stand up? Want to move some movement? Let's move. Let's move. Slowly and carefully, we're going to stand. Shake it out. Now, you can always stay seated in class. So if we ever do something that doesn't feel good for you, you can stay in your chair. But we're going to come into some tap outs. So we were doing those laterals. We're going to go back into them. If you want to stay seated and you want to get those legs involved, you can just step your feet out to the side, okay? That's a good choice too. So we're going to come into that, taking this nice and slow, out and in. Inhaling and exhaling. Knowing that your chair is there for support, so if you want your chair in front of you, so just in case you have it, beautiful. Nice job. Keep stepping. 5. Nice work. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Let's release those weights. Put them on. You can put them on your chair so you don't have to go all the way to the floor. You can just put them on your chair. Beautiful. All right. We're feeling much warmer now, right? We got moving. All right. So, keeping with what I like to work in here a lot is our balance, right? So important if we were to fall, we want to make sure that we can, one, catch ourselves or recover quicker than, because we're strong, right? So keeping that chair next to you. So I'm just going to have you do what I call little tap outs. Now, if you don't want to lift your heel like I'm doing, you can literally just put your foot out. The tapping of the heel is kind of giving you a little stretch in the back of that leg. And we're working our balance, switching those legs. So taking this as slow as you need to. If you need to pause when you get to the top before you switch, that's okay. Beautiful. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. We're going to give ourselves a little recovery here. So we're going to do a nice big inhale with those arms. Reach like you're getting out of bed. Maybe interlace the fingers. You don't have to. You can sway side to side. Taking it slow so you don't feel dizzy. But stretching. Maybe rounding the spine and letting the arms come forward here is okay too. Working out any of those kinks. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Nice big inhale. Get really long, like you're stretching when you get out of bed. And really feel that strength there. Beautiful. And exhale. Release. Nice job. Yeah, if you need to roll out those shoulders, always take those movements that are calling to you, even if I'm not cueing them. It's so important to listen to what our body is saying. So we're going to come back to our chair. I wanted to get us up moving a little bit. Yes, that feels good for our cardiovascular to get that going. So go ahead and sit in your chair here. Taking your time. We're not moving any quicker. We're taking our time getting there. My hair is getting all caught up in everything I got going on here. All right. So we're going to work our core this morning. It's so good. So you don't have to have your weights, friend, unless you want them. So we're going to move on. So we're going to sit nice and tall in our chair. You can stay here, but if you want a little extra, we're going to work our core. So you're going to bring your knee in and exhale, let it down. Knee in. So what we're trying not to do is this, right? We want to stay nice and tall. So we really have to use that core to lift our legs. So if the arms up feel too much, you can have your legs down. You can have your arms here. Keep them wherever feels good for you, okay? Inhaling and exhaling. Nice work. Breathing. You got this. Yep, he's got it. We're going good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. We feel our core working there. Such a good one for our core. So I'm going to show you before we move all together. So we were doing the same thing. We're going to stay with the same thing, but this time we're going to do a little twist. And we're working our abs. So again, if the arm up here doesn't feel good, you can just bring your arms down, okay? So we're going to come into that working our side oblique. So inhale, staying nice and tall, and a little teeny twist, bringing that leg up. And again, you can bring your arms here. Beautiful. This is good. There's lots of choices in class, doing what feels good for you. Nice job. Keep breathing. 5, 3, 2, and release. A little side work there, yes. I would tell you to grab a drink, but you didn't bring your water. I'm going to turn the fans on. Is everyone feeling warm, like they need some air circulating? Yes, I believe so. I turned them off because I felt like it was kind of getting a little chilly in here. Oh, in the car? Oh. I am a habit of creature, so either I always have this situation, because I'm supposed to get, you got to know how much you're supposed to get for your body, but I'm supposed to have 75 ounces a day, which is a lot, and I usually get pretty close, but the reason I started getting better at it is that I know how many of these I need to get that number. So I'm like, oh, I need 3, and then I just need 2 more, and I'm on my last one, and then you just kind of... So I either have this or I have one of those big, huge waters now that you can get. So nice that they make the big ones now instead of the little. And then I just refill them so I don't have to keep buying those bottles. So we're going to come into 1 or 2 more little workouts here. And I'm just getting my notes here so I know where we are. All right. So we're ready, aren't we? We're going to get moving here. All right. So option to not have your weights, but you can have them if you want. We're going to work our mid-back and our shoulders, kind of everything together. So you can do this without weights, but weights, making sure that when you lift your weights out, don't let it pull you forward. So if it starts to do that, I'd rather you not have the weights because I want you to really keep your back as flat and tall as you can. And you're going to hold for a moment, right? It gets hard. And then you just pull it out. Keep a soft bend in your elbows, so don't lock out the elbows. Keep them a little bent, and then bring them back down. So take it real slow. I want them to take it slow because we're going to hold each time. Sorry, my mask keeps falling. So inhale those weights out, holding gently out, and then release. And if you wanted, hey, see, you gave me an idea back there. We could add on a little bit more fun here, and then we come into this, right? You remember those workouts? and out straight and release. We just added a whole lot of fun right there, didn't we? Lots more bang for our buck. Sometimes as an instructor, that's what happens. I'm like, ooh, we could have taken it there. You gave me a good idea. And release. Nice job. Out, side, curl it in, push it out, and release. Nice work. Out, to the side, bring it in, out, and release. Let's do that 3 more times. We got this. Always know that if I say a number and that does not feel good for you, you can always drop what we're doing and say, no, Jamie, I'm good right here. I've done enough for me, and that's okay. I give you options. They're not absolutes, right? One more time. Out. Beautiful. And release. You did it. We're done. We did the hardest part. That was the hardest workout, right? The hardest part of the workout. So we're going to go into our cool down. For sure, we earned it this morning. So I know some of you, and we talked about this, I'm not a yogi, as in I'm not certified to teach yoga, but I'm a yogi lover later in my life because I did not like yoga when I was younger. I thought it was terribly boring. Now I love it. And why? Because it taps you into your heart space, your head space, everything gets connected. So it's so important. So whenever we do a cool down, you'll hear me say a lot of probably feels like yoga inspiration, and that's because everything's connected. We keep that all connected. So I always encourage you in our cool downs to maybe close down your eyes or have a softer gaze. And we're just going to start by locking in our breath, bringing ourselves back to feeling grounded in your practice in this space, knowing that any practice you create is a sacred space. It should be sacred because it's your time, your space. Try not to think about what do you got next, what's happening. Try to stay focused on being present for you and what you just accomplished, the movement, being able to breathe, have that light in your lungs. Just focus there for a moment. And when you're ready, we're going to do some gentle rolls with our neck. So just taking it down and around, being mindful not to have any popping. So take it real slow. Inhaling at the top and exhaling down and around. Nice job. One more in this direction. And then coming to the top, back to center, then you'll switch directions with those circles. Nice job. Soft, gentle. Remembering to give yourself lots of grace and gratitude for not only being able to move through your movement today, but being able to show up, to be here, be present for you. And release whenever you get to your last one, just coming to the top, nice and center. Nice work. So we're going to take our gaze, we're just going to continue with that neck stretching, but we're just going to gently take our gaze to one side, hold for a moment, and then slowly bring it back so you don't get dizzy. We don't want that to happen. And then release to the other side. Nice and slow. Beautiful. Let's do one more each direction. And release. Beautiful. We're going to take our right arm and just do some gentle circles, letting it be nice and loose, feeling good for what feels right for you. And when you're ready, you can switch like you're doing a backstroke. Take that arm the other direction. Beautiful. 3, 2, and release. We'll do that other arm. So taking the left arm up and around. Nice big inhales and exhales. Nice job. Last one, this direction, and then we'll switch other direction. Beautiful. Keep reaching, keep with that breath. Let's do one more big one. And release. To finish out class here, just to work out any more kinks, we're going to take our arms wide. Inhale. Exhale, round your spine a little bit. Maybe you interlace your fingers and just kind of work out any kinks. Kind of wiggle around, maybe shake your head, yes and no. And then drop those arms slowly and roll up. Nice job. Inhale, long. Exhale, round that spine a little bit. Interlace those fingers if that doesn't hurt. Work out those kinks. And slowly roll up. Last part of class, we do this every class. It's my cheesy little gift I give to all of you. We're going to soak up some love for ourselves. We're going to inhale, visually thinking about all that love we have for ourselves, for being here together for yourself. So nice big inhale. And exhale, release all that burden that doesn't serve us. Let it go here. One more time, scoop up that love. And exhale. Release. Yay, we finished our first in-studio session. Give yourselves a big round of applause for showing up for you. So wonderful. I will be here every Monday and Wednesday, starting today. And Fridays, we're still going to stay at home, because I have a little one who's 5. I have a bonus 5-year-old. So I have a big range of children. I have a freshman in college, a soon-to-be middle schooler, and a bonus 5-year-old, all boys, because I'm a glutton for punishment. I guess I just get all boys. Better than girls, I'm sorry, but I have nieces, so I'm okay with having all boys. Although I don't know if it's better having girls or now I'm going to have 3 daughters-in-laws. I know that's kind of scary to me as well. Yeah, that's when I'm panicking. My son has had a couple of girlfriends, and which is good for my son because he's very shy. If you ever met my oldest, he's very proper, he's very shy, and so he didn't really date in high school, which I was actually okay with. I know some moms are like, "Are you worried about him?" I'm like, no. He has plenty of time to date. I'm not worried about it. So he's had a couple girlfriends, but he has pleasantly surprised his mother with his definition of what a healthy relationship looks like. And so he comes home and processes and says, I started dating her, but I don't think she's very emotionally mature. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So I know that you're going to date appropriately girls. So I'm not as worried. I'm more worried about my middle. It's always the middle one, right? He's ornery. He is so ornery. So he makes me really nervous. Yeah. I can put your weights away. I can do that for you. I don't mind. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I'm so glad that you were. Oh, yes, you may. Absolutely. Get those extra steps in. Oh, no, I don't mind helping. Well, there you go. No, I'm so used to at the studio at Orange Sky, like I get everything out for everyone because of COVID. You can't touch anything. And so I am happy to let you do it as well.
I appreciate this. This is great. It's so good to get back to this.
Oh, I'm so glad. I agree.
2020 was the last time.
Oh, wow.
We've done it here. We did Parkinson's at Metal Art.
Uh-huh.
We're ushering us out and locking the door.
And you just didn't know, right? I think that's what was so sad for everyone is nobody knew what their last anything was going to be, right? Nobody knew that was going to be the day that everything was just going to. And I honestly feel so bad for the older adult community because I have so many friends whose parents. No, that's fine. I can do it. Yep. I had so many friends, parents that, were in care and weren't allowed to see their family for 2 years. And I said, that is, in my opinion, inhumane. Like, you need to let people decide if the risk is worth it for them to see their family, because that's almost worse, because then you're treating them like caged animals. That's so not okay. Like, I was so angry. I was on so many petitions to try to get people to, I was like, this is terrible. I mean, let them decide how their last days should look.
And you know, for me, I have to work on my introverted side really to hold, and I'm working now to
Yeah,
battle that a little bit.
yeah. You just get so used to, yeah,
I didn't even know what I knew how to converse with anybody
yeah.
after so much.
I know, it's hard to see the numbers. I thought, I can help. Yeah, I think these ones are just over here. Because I had a bunch out earlier and we had them in the, one of those closets, but the closets are all full. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, I can do it.
Okay. I was telling her, I'm used to at the studio, we have to get everything out for everyone because of COVID. So I have to lay all the weights out and put them all back. So I'm just used to doing it all. So,
We're all used to helping ourselves. We got the chairs out, and we got the
okay. So that's good for me to know because I'm just so used to at the studio, they make us put everything out and do it all. And so I'm not used to having everybody kind of do it themselves. So,
where's your studio?
Orange Sky.
Where now?
It's in Aggieville, on Morrow, right next to Public Hall, the coffee store.
Name was
Orange Sky Yoga. And so I've been working there 3 years. I'm a bar and spin teacher. And then because of COVID, I started my own business now where I do private bar sessions. Kind of like private training, but it's specifically more geared to Tella's bar. And some of the girls were asking me online what bar is. It's kind of ballet inspired, but I'm not classically trained dancer at all. Hi, we
Glad to see you made it.
we do have a ballerina bar, but it's more just the tiny isometric movements. So we do a lot of balancing, which I think is key my training to bring into here because we do a lot of we don't use big weights. We use tiny little weights. We just are in the movements a lot longer where we get that burn. And I just was noticing with COVID, I couldn't touch my students anymore. So, and so having that private business where I could start having, and you can have multiple people so you can kind of build your own little community of women. Because I have because it's in a college town and where it's located, I do have a lot of college girls. So I have some friends that are my age or even older that are like, I want to take your classes, but I don't want to come. And I was like, I get it. So we do a private practice and then you don't have to worry about it. It's your show and I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, you're so welcome. It was nice meeting all of you. So happy you all could be here. Oh, my chair. Thank you. That's a good question. Do you know how many people are allowed to be at the center? Do they have to reserve or anything? Okay, Carol, you do have to reserve, is what I'm being told. Okay, so they just can call the center. Okay, Carol, if you just call the center, you can get your name on the list to start coming in person if you'd like to do that. Sorry, I didn't see your comment. I was finishing up classes. So I'm not sure what the number is, but I'm sure when you call, they will tell you. Thank you for showing up this morning, and I will see you on Wednesday. So Mondays and Wednesdays, Carol, I will be here at the center, and we'll still do Fridays at home. All right. See you all on Wednesday.